our next governor of Washington State elected, Mr. Rob McKenna.
First of all, no one call the fire marshal. We're in really big trouble here. Secondly, I'm so excited about John Koster's campaign for Congress. We need John Koster in the United States Congress. He's going to win this election. Look, it's been such a thrilling day to have one of America's greatest governors here with us in Washington State. Before I have him come up, I just have to tell you this. Some of you know Governor Christie was out here to campaign for me a little over a month ago. It was really in August. And, the last thing he said to me when we parted ways after those events was, I want to come back and help. I wasn't sure I could ask someone from all the way from New Jersey to come all the way back out here. He offered. He said, I want to come out and help. We've got to win this election. Thank you very much.
After welcome like that, I wasn't coming back. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you for being here, first off, and for the work that you're doing. I was with Rob earlier today at a fundraiser, and I said to the folks there who had come and written checks and brought checks with them that while we appreciate that, we really do, and Rob will be an outstanding steward of those resources and use them in a responsible way to communicate his message to the people of Washington between now and Election Day. That I told them what they needed to do was get here. They needed to get to the call centers. They needed to get to the headquarters. Because in the last 33 days, we're going to take care of it, the RGA and what Rob's going to do here, and all the other folks that are going to be helpful on TV and other places, they're going to be helpful to Rob in that way. The way we're going to win this election is all of you. Is you on the phones. You calling all the folks that you can call and let them know how important this election is. But just as much, beyond the call centers, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, all those folks that you have influence over every day. You're going to be able to say, now listen, I've met this guy. I've looked him in the eye. I've taken the measure of his character. And I'm not only voting for him, I'm working for him. I'm supporting him. I believe in him. And that's the most powerful weapon still in American politics. More powerful than a 30-second TV ad, more powerful than a piece of mail in the mailbox. And you're going to find this hard to believe. But even more powerful than a warm and charming automated phone call from the governor of New Jersey. Only slightly, but still powerful nonetheless. And that's what we need you to do now in these last 33 days. You know this guy. He's been your Attorney General, and you know the character that he has, the ethics with which he's led his office, and the example that he's set for office holders throughout this state about the way you conduct yourself in public life. And I tell you, you can talk about all the issues you want to talk about, and he does talk to you about them. He talks to you about them straight and honestly. He tells you what the problems are and how he is going to confront them and try to solve them with you. But the biggest thing about a governor is you never quite know what's going to come across your desk. It's not always the issues you talk about in the campaign. Sometimes something happens, and this has happened to me over the last 2.5 years, that you can't anticipate. When that happens, there's no briefing paper for that. Right? You've got to decide in here what's right and what's wrong. That's why his character, his integrity, are the first and most important things that recommend him for this job. Because what you don't want to worry about is have someone sitting in the governor's chair who is going to put self-interest ahead of the public interest. Now, we as prosecutors have dealt with folks like that. And they disgrace their public office, and they disappoint our citizens, and they mar our political system. And so as prosecutors, me as U.S. Attorney, Rob as the Attorney General, we took steps to take care of those folks. But then when folks like us get into those offices, we have, I suggest, an even greater responsibility. to make sure that we set that example and that tone at the top. And so, what do you want out of the next governor? It seems to me that in times that are as challenging as these, you want somebody who not only has that integrity, understands that sense of right or wrong, but also knows how to bring people together. We've watched Washington, D.C., everybody, and we have seen, and I will tell you, I'm a loyal Republican, I love my party, and I'm running all over the country working for my party's candidates, but in Washington, D.C., both parties deserve blame for what's going on there, for not bringing people together, for not talking to each other, just talking at each other, posturing, posing, worrying about the next press release or the next press conference, more than they care about progress. We don't want that in the state capitals. We don't want that to affect the state capitals. And let me just say that you won't get that with him. You've seen him operate in statewide office. His opponent, on the other hand, is a creature of Washington, D.C. Do you really want to bring Washington, D.C. politics to the state capital of Olympia? No! And so we need to understand that all elections are choices. They're choices. In New Jersey, they were confronted with the choice between a former federal prosecutor and a Wall Street executive. And they made the choice. And the only people anymore who are disappointed that I got picked over John Corzine are the people who invested in MF Global. And what you will find is that real leaders in the governor's chair make a real difference. They make a real difference. There are people in my state, some of whom will say they like what I do, and some of whom will say they don't. But none of them will say that New Jersey isn't different today than it would have been if John Corzine had been in office.
Yeah.
It'll be the same thing with Rob McKenna. He's going to change Washington, and he's going to change it for the better. And he'll have some detractors. He'll have some people who won't agree with what he's going to do, but here's the great thing about him. He knows his true compass. He will listen to the critics, and he'll take in the criticism, because he knows he's not perfect. But he also has a true compass in here that tells him what is the right thing to do and what is the right course for Washington State to take to put people back to work, to get its economy moving again, to have a sense of hope in this state again, that your children and your grandchildren will be able to raise their children right here. Because you don't want them to leave, and you know what will happen. If Washington State can't create the jobs, the good-paying jobs that our kids are going to want, the same ones we've gotten over time and that have supported us through our lives, if we can't give them that opportunity, they're going to go where the opportunity is, no matter where it is. And then think about it this way. Think about what that does to Washington State families, right? You, as a grandparent, then won't be there for the Little League games or the soccer tournaments, for the Christmas concerts or the spring plays, or for just those little birthday parties around the kitchen table. Those are the things that bring the strength to the fabric of our lives. That's what makes Washington State a great place, because it's the tradition of the families who have built this state and these communities generation after generation. This economy, this failed economy, will drive people away. And so the stakes here are incredibly high, not just for what your next paycheck's going to be, but for what your life's going to be, the life with your family. And so that's why I'm back out here. I'm back out here, not because I had nothing else to do in New Jersey. But the good news is I did get some good news from New Jersey today. My Democratic state legislature tried for, I don't know, it must be now the 30th or 31st time to override one of my vetoes. They're now 0-31. So I have stuff to do back there, but nothing at the moment can help the people of Washington any more than getting behind this guy in the next 33 days. After I'm done, I'm going to head back to New Jersey, and I'll get back to work for the people of my state. They know I'll work hard for them. But they also know it's important for me to come out here and do this. And the reason is because we're building a movement across the country. What we're doing is we have 29 Republican governors now across America, and you know the names of these people because they're making such a difference in public life. You know who some of these governors are. Folks like Susana Martinez in New Mexico. Make a huge difference for our state. You know, I mean, there are people who are doing great things for the people of their state. And here's what I want. We got 29 now. I want number 30 to be standing to my right. So I just want to say thank you, first of all. To see all of you here and working hard for Rob and his team is really incredibly gratifying. And I will tell you, I'll say it for him, because Mary Pat and I went through this in 2009. We would travel around to the different call centers around the state, and we would see people who were there every time we went, sitting in front of telephones with call sheets and making those phone calls. And it was overwhelming to us that people would commit that much of their time in their lives to try to put us in a position where we could change our state. So I can tell you, on Rob's behalf, that it is an overwhelming feeling to walk into these places and see that so many people give so much of their time to try to advance your cause. And so please understand how much he appreciates it. And please understand how much it means to the success or failure of this campaign. Because I know what I want to do. I want to be sitting in New Jersey on November 6th. I want to stay up late. I love staying up late on election night. It's great. But I want to stay up late so I get these returns from Washington State. And, you know, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, hopefully earlier. So I get to sleep. But if I stay up that late, I will. I want to make a call to this guy and welcome him to the club. And I want to come out here in January. I want to come out here in January to Olympia. And I want to be an interested observer who can sit back and watch the smiles on the faces and the hope in the eyes of the people of Washington as they see a good and decent man put his hand on the Bible and take the oath of office as your next governor. I want to be out here to celebrate with you, and I want to be out here to take credit for it. I will. I'll work my way through the crowd, and people say, "Well, to me," I go, "Oh, no, you're welcome. You're welcome." I'm happy to have helped. I want to take credit for another good governor joining the fold. And so we got 33 days to get it done, make it happen. All right? So I'm going to continue to work hard for Rob. I'm going to do whatever it is he asks me to do to be helpful. I know other governors are ready to help him as well, have helped him, and are ready to continue to help him. And we're going to make it happen because we know that great Republican governors can change America. They can change America, and they are changing America right now. And so we want to work real hard to make sure, because let me tell you, when we elect a Republican governor in Wyoming, nobody notices. I mean, I love Matt Mead. He's a personal friend of mine in Wyoming, but everybody expected Matt to win. He's a Republican in Wyoming. He's going to win. It's like electing a Democrat in California, for God's sake. Nobody notices anymore. But let me tell you when the country takes notice. When they elect a Republican in New Jersey, they take notice. And when you elect a Republican governor in Washington, America's going to turn their eyes west and say, "What the hell is going on?" The great news is you're going to know that you were part of the movement that made it happen. Nothing can be more gratifying for a group of citizens but to know that they contributed to changing history. And that's what you're going to do on November 6th. All the work you're doing now is going to lead to you changing Washington State's history on November 6th by putting this guy in office. So I thank you for the opportunity to be part of your team. I am thrilled to be here with all of you. I am looking forward to watching these results come in, and I am really looking forward to watching how this guy takes the reins of government in the state of Washington and changes it for the better, gets families back to work, gives children hope that they can live here in the place where they grew up, and keeps families together. That's what Washington State wants, and that's what they're going to get if they elect Rob McKenna. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Yeah.